Okay, so last week spoke about the meaning of the Yetzer Hara. But seems like there's a number of biurim, or you could put the biurim also in different tkufas, periods, and the removal of the Yetzer Hara. From one place it seems that more of a rational explanation that since then B'mola Tzayas Hashem, people will understand about Hashem, people understand what's right, what's wrong. They'll be able to be more easily motivated and be able to, the mind would control the heart much more. And that seems to be one more rational approach to the meaning of that. There won't be the removal of the Yetzer Hara. From other places, it's mashma. There's also be a change in nature. You have my Maimorim of the Rebbe Marash speaks about the pasuk Vasireisi Leva Evan. He says that now the nature of the Yetzer Hara is that he's like Leva Evan. He's like a stone that doesn't get affected so easily from understanding things about the Eibishter. When Moshiach will come, it's the same Yetzer Hara will be turned into a Leiv Basas. It's going to be like Hilo, a change, it's mashma change in the nature of the Yetzer Hara itself. But the same Yetzer Hara will now be more receptive, be like basa, like flesh, that's bendable, that's easy, that's a keli. So he says, that's another Indian. The Rebbe Marash discusses the word of Asreisi Leva Evan, discussing in that, Kunira that itself is different tkufas, that this be Yetzer Hara. I think he even uses the lashon, it's not pshat, it'll be a different Yetzer Hara. In other words, it's the same, in other words, the same thing that was Leiv Ha'evan will turn into Leiv Basar. Then the Shchidat Yetzer Hara, it could be Shchidat Yetzer Hara because it's after Techiyas Hameisim was mashma, the second kufa. But even the first kufa, it's still to say that it will be from the Leiv Ha'evan will turn into a Leiv Basar, that instead of it being like a rock, Yetzer Hara will be like flesh. There's also obviously Shini and Tepa. There's also other biurim. You have other Chokri Yisrael B'chlal. It was more not so much focusing on so much the actual transformation of the Yetzer Hara, but that because of the miracles al derech, similar to what the Gemara says by Purim, that because of the miracles of Purim, so the Yidden accepted upon themselves Torah mitzvahs. The Gemara says that when the Torah mitzvahs was first given, so the Eibusher was kaf aleim hakegigis. The Eibusher uprooted the mountain and he put it over the Jewish people. And he said, if you receive the Torah, good. If not, the mountain is coming down. So the Gemara said, from here, the Jewish people could have an excuse if they ever, put the trial why they didn't keep Torah mitzvahs. They could say we're forced. But the Gemara said it only lasted until the days of Purim. Once it came the time of Purim, it's not the great nace, so they accepted upon themselves Torah mitzvahs, but with their own will. So you have, in a similar sense, you have Abarbanel and others, they explain that because of the great miracles that will take place when Moshiach will come, that will have an effect on the Yetzer Hara and the heart of the Yidden, that will motivate them from then on to do good things. Not necessarily focusing on the actual change in the person himself, but more on the events in the world that will have such a, such an effect on the Yidden that it will cause them. The Bible also has a whole gang, which other Gedolei Yisrael don't. I'm not saying that it's agree, but Dafka they explain things based on this angle. He explains that one of the purposes of Techiyas Hameisim is that when the people that passed away will get up and they will say over Vastutzach L'mayla B'elam Elyon, they'll retell what's going on upstairs, with, and how everything that a person does, every mitzvah, every aveda, the effect that it has, etc., etc. So that will make people do tshuva. So it says V'heishiv le'vavas albanim le'banim al avoisam, that he will return the heart of sons through the fathers. The fathers that will be the sons, whichever the ones that will get up at Techiyas Hameisim, they will say what's going on l'mayla, so that's going to affect the people that are alive to realize that the important, I have to serve the Eibishter and the importance of Torah mitzvahs, and that will lead them to do what's right. So it's also it's just a different approach over here, focusing more on external things happening that motivate someone, inspire someone to do the right thing. But one thing, a little bit connected, we're discussing the Inyan that Moshiach will come, that the Torah mitzvahs will be b'shleim, it's one of the Yetzer Hara. There's also the Inyan of Yedias Hashem, the fact that when Moshiach will come, it says, Kimol ha'aretz teyes Hashem k'mayim l'yom b'chasim, that the world will be filled with knowledge of Hashem as water covers the sea. So this also is something which it's also associated with the removal of the Yetzer Hara. There's also another nikud over here. In the Inyan of Kimol ha'aretz teyes Hashem k'mayim l'yom b'chasim, the world will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem. So the Rambam, the truth is, the Rambam is very clear. We all know the Rambam is probably the first thing that most people learn. We all know the Rambam is very clear when Moshiach will come. Tzayin Hilchos Shuvah, he describes this in Tzayin Hilchos Malachim. The whole world will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem. Why? And the Rambam Hilchos Shuvah explains, because the king, Melech HaMashiach, will be Navi Gadli, he'll be Chacham, he'll be a great prophet, almost as much as Moshe Rabbeinu. He'll be even smarter than Shlomo. And mainly he will teach everyone, all the nations will come to hear the Torah that he'll have, and that is what's going to cause that there will be the knowledge, wisdom, and truth will be increased, and it will be will be in abundance. The Rambam is clear that he's talking about in the first period of Moshiach. When Moshiach comes, will be the increasing of knowledge of Hashem. In other sources, in the Moshel in the Zohar brings a pasuk also, discusses the pasuk, Kimol ha'aretz teyes Hashem, that when Moshiach will come, that there will be a great knowledge will be revealed. But from the Zohar is mashma, the Rebbe points out, from the Zohar is mashma, that it's talking about after Techiyas Hameisim. That the main revelation of the knowledge of Hashem will take place after Techiyas Hameisim. Truth is another place in the Zohar, which the Rebbe is not mitzayin to in that place, where it says that the Eibishter will reveal deep secrets of the Torah through Moshiach, and it brings a pasuk, Kimol ha'aretz teyes Hashem. I'm not stira, but for some reason the Rebbe doesn't bring that. That's mashma a little bit also. That a little bit it could be you could taish pshat nazar before Techiyas Hameisim. But akaponim from the Rebbe says that from the Zohar is mashma that he's talking about after Techiyas Hameisim, and even one thing I'd say, I'm not dafka machlokes over here. Even according to the Rambam, that there will build that the knowledge of Hashem will be already in the times of Mashiach, the first period of Mashiach. However, it's self-understood that in the second period, the knowledge of Hashem will be even greater. And here comes in the removal of the Yetzer Hara as one of the components over here. The simple understanding of why after Techiyas Hameisim things will be on a totally different scale is because by Techiyas Hameisim the body will be a totally new body. It will be a totally pure and holy body. Now, a child comes through natural means from his father and mother. So Mamela, the body is lav dafka, Kaddish V'Tor, was not created by the Eibishter himself. However, by Techiyas Hameisim, when the Eibishter is going to renew the body, it's going to come through a Tal Techiyah, through the dew of resurrection, and so on, whatever that means. But it's going to, the Eibishter himself, Kayoch, is going to form the body. It's going to be completely pure. There won't be any trace of sin in the body whatsoever. Al derech, similar to the body of Adam Rishon before the Chet Yetzer Das, and even higher. So Mamela, when there's the complete removal of the Yetzer Hara, we could understand that our hasaga, our understanding, will be shaloi berach.
When Isha Taylor Kolyen, this is not for the second month for sure.
So dort is Fran my morim in Chassidus Retzach Harum that there's a mimer. The Rebbe also has this mimer. Says
it's not only Isha Taylor Kolyen. Those that are still alive then when Moshiach comes.
First of all, it's
they're going to go through
the mimer of the Rebbe.
Tell us how it's going to happen. The Rebbe says it could be in a second.
Chassidus speaks about it. Chassidus says so dear Chassidus read Chassidus mentioned. So first of all, it also depends which kufa. After Techiyas Hameisim, the pashtus we say Eilam Habeim Beichil Shtiv like Pri Revia. The pashtus the different kufas. Pashtus come the time there won't be any pre-review of the clown.
It's not. That's it's complicated.
Of course, it's complicated. And the noch is for an Abshat from the Chassidus redt sich herum, as it come at Zeit, the Chassidus should tell b'chol yoyim without a zocher. She'll have children without a husband, just the same way the earth will produce without.
It's not without a zocher. It's out the gash, the gushin, the gash, the time shivers.
No. That's the besondere Sache. It says, the Mitzvah Rebbe explains that Asidi should tell it b'chol yoyim. He says it's two tkufas. It's a maimer. If you look it up, my mother had a few places. My mother, but we're by Tzpariches. My mother Admar and Soy in Breishis. I think it's page in Gimel Shendalud and on. It's a whole long maimer. The Rebbe spoke also. There's a maimer by Yetzi Tavshin Chavav. The Rebbe also spoke about. It's a very big chiddush, but he explained it. There's two tkufas. One tkufa will be that Otaka be through a Zachar, because you have a whole discussion of Chassidus that loss of love of the female will be greater than the male. So first tkufa will be a woman will have a child every day through a male. Second period, now derech zeh, similarly in the earth, when it says that I see the other shetaytzig luskois or clay milas, I think it's talking about after Techiyas Hameisim, by the way. There's two tkufas, I think even mashma. I'm not sure, but I see the other, but he said the same thing is in the earth. It says that the earth will give out ready-made bread and clay milas and silk or woolen clothing. So it says, so there also it says, so there's two tkufas in that also. One is that it's going to happen through Zriya. You'll have to sow into the ground and the earth will give out ready-made bread. So the second kufa will be that shetoitzi haaretz me'atzma. I think it could be talking to Hameisim Moshiach and Techiyas Hameisim. I don't remember. Also, the Mitzvah Rebbe is my bottom. Some places it's Cain. There's mashma little. The Mitzvah Rebbe like changes his mind here and there. But he says that will come a second time, that the second period, that the earth itself will produce. You won't have to sow into the ground. The earth will give out on its own ready-made bread. And similarly, a woman will have a child on her own, without a zocher b'chlal. Whatever pshat in that is, but that's what he says. There's many stiras here. If you, I'm saying, what will be when Moshiach will come at Mazen? Chassidus says that now it takes 9 months. Moshiach will come and take 9 hours. But what's the mind from the Samach Tzedek?
By Adam
Rishon also was
1 hour.
It was you're right. Adam Rishon was 1 hour.
The godless b'chalal, the Chassidus is always Muslim. The godless of Beis Moshiach is not the bittul of Gashmis. Okay, that will be the Gilan Atzmas of the Gashmis.
Good. But the truth is that the first of all, what you said is there's a Zohar. I think it's Mustam and Pashas told us. The Zohar says that Yitzchak and Rivka, that they davened, yeah. So the Zohar gives a whole beer that there was Aldarach Lasalavi. Lasalavi, there won't be Yetzer Hara. So how are people going to have children? Yeah. They're going to have to daven to the Eibishter that they should have, in order to be able to reproduce, to have a Yetzer, to have children.
No, they will need
no, Zohar statement is, give a Kuchen Zohar, the Zohar says that the Inyan of Yitzchak and Rivka, that they daven because Yitzchak.
So one. That will be a taiva.
The Chassidus redt sich herum that there's going to be a taiva. It's not going to be a taiva.
That will be the same. What? Why is that less?
Chassidus
more.
Chassidus uses a lashon. It's a maimer. It's a maimer. It's a maimer like Beimer maimer. I know in Tav Shemem the Rebbe said this maimer also. Love and you know the Rashbi maybe. It's a lie, but I don't know. In Tav you look in Tav Shemem this maimer, but. You look on which mimer this mimer is miyusad on, because there it's more. He said, lots of love. It'll be a type of gashmis, just like in order for the achil sh'siyah, you have to have some type of appetite to eat. But it's not going to be a type of chumrius. It's not going to be. But it seems to me there's different kufas b'davar. Well, Akaponim, let's not get. I think there's different kufas in it. But Akaponim, let's not get. But I think there's a Zohar. If you remember seeing it, we didn't go through the whole thing. About the Yitzchak and Rivka, the reason why they daven, that is when Moshiach will come, people are going to have to daven, because naturally they won't have Yetzirah, they would just have to give them, and what up, getting back to the discussion at hand. Because it's right now, there's a Teva HaAdam is in such a way, it's not, when they ate, they needed to daven. They should have appetite
Well, the
to
Rebbe
eat.
says the difference between with the Chiddush. The Rebbe saying the difference between what Aliza was mastered.
So Lisa said, yeah.
What was the difference between that and the Etchel Nachash? The Pshat is they're the sibbe of why this whole thing happened.
A higher level.
The higher level, they're in the middle of the Yod B'chlal. They were part of the plan of the middle of the Adam. That's what they are. The Rebbe made it.
How tzaddikim act?
No, I don't know.
But I'm saying, it seems to me at least it's different B'Yurim and different Tkuf. It's like by mir Kolot. I mean, at least
one
I'm
thing,
certain
if I may, who am I, but will the Gashmis, was the Song?
Ein Minut, es steht, als Elam habe, ein bei Achil Shia. Like pre-review.
Elam habe you talk after
after Techiyas Hameisim.
After Techiyas Hameisim. No, Elam habe could
the
be...
Rambam learns Elam habe, the ones no eating and drinking and
after
Mei Besim. But the whole Chiddush of Chassidus is like the Ramban. And the Ramban holds, and the truth is I never found a clearer beater in this. But the Ramban learns that Lasu Lavi, the goof of a person, the whole word Rebbe Almo mentions that like that Chassidus Paschals like the Ramban, that the Iker is that Techiyas Hameisim, people are never going to die, they live forever. Because the main thing is the Olam Hazeh Gashmi, the physical body, was the Eibush want to live after. Was sagt the Ramban that the goof of a person become like a goof of a malach? As I sagt the Ramban.
But
if Chassidus, I don't know. Chassidus says us losav yenasham and nizaynus min aguf. If us made us losav, so Moshiach, the Rebbe says when it says that they won't be eating and drinking. So they had it in this week's learning Gula in the back of that pamphlet. So l'chayre we know there's going to be Sudas Levyasim. How does it fit together? Well, then they say they won't be eating and drinking. Now then they say there was Sudas Levyasim. So the Rebbe says, some places the Rebbe says that the Sudas Levyasim will be in the Moshiach Moshiach before Techiyas Hameisim. But in the Techiyas Hameisim thing, the Rebbe's letter in Techiyas Hameisim explains that what we're saying is that in this world, the connection, what keeps the body, what keeps the soul in the body is eating and drinking. Moshiach will come, he won't need it. But there will still be the eating and drinking as an avoida, as al-sadar.
Because the neshama, the etzem l'husta wants to go back to the Yitzhak. Doesn't want to be in the guf. The asad glavi, it's madness from our guf, because the gila eid of gila of atzmas, Chassidus always says, all the tzumim, alles is good. Of the blias elam hazeh, the größte, the gifel, das machen den tzumim, kein elam hazeh, das ist baf, kein gar nicht machen mit dem.
That's today, that's...
Aber nein, jemol, das sagt der Giloi, der Giloi ist eine Rache, wie Etzem. Bei mir nicht verkehrt.
The Shaila is fine, so why do you say there's no Achilus Shia, there's no...
It means that the tide, the
fine. I hear what you're saying, but I need a marker for it. You know, understand what I'm saying? In other words, like Chevus, as Shailas, as I learned, as I staka, as I learned on Chassidus. You definitely have, and again, there's definitely in even the Maimar, the Mittel Rab and others, you have a gang. They'll eventually reach a time that there won't be Achilles Shasi B'Gashim. I mean, it's whatever. Anyway, ich weiß nicht. Es ist schwer zu wissen, man redet Tkufa Shniya.
It's not only Tkufa Shniya. The Retz Gashmi is the Kiyidin. We know what's food, and we know what's Taivas. And we live only with Gashmis, and I'm sorry, we know with dollar and cents. And don't go nicht. So Druck is that we have in it 1%. Go, it's a gate verstehen.
The Aleph HaShvi, the seventh millennium, what means it's destroyed, that our whole understanding, our whole connection, physicality. And then in Aleph HaShmini Vaistais it starts all over. I don't know, it's very unclear.
There's one speaking in Techiyas, Ben Meyo Kilo Meis V'Over U'Botl Min Ha'Ilam. That the Techiyas, the only yonim, one guy been a person 100 years old, is not going to have a chishkin gashmis. He did all his birurim. I mean, that would still have some understanding. No ruchnias. close to zero. I'm sorry to say. I'm not talking about you.
It's not so hard to understand.
But anyway, let's I don't think there's any clarity in this. I mean, I'm saying you have to research all the. I mean, it's anyway. The definitely vices is different kufas. There's Alaf Shishi, Alaf Shvi. I mean, you look at this. There's definitely different periods in all of this. But getting back to the point I was talking about, since the guf by Techiyas Hameisim be a guf chadash, a guf kaddish, will be created from the Eibishter alone. So b'derech mamela the whole. It starts off totally different. Now we're living with the guf. Adam Rishon's guf also. I mean, Adam Rishon's guf was on the highest, on a very high level. Some places in Chassidus it even says it was higher than Moshiach. Different places in Chassidus says different things. But in some places in Chassidus it says that Adam Rishon before the Chet was even higher than Moshiach. So his guf was the greatest thing. Only because Chet Tzadas, so that changed everything. So after Techiyas Hameisim, after there will be the Tikkun HaChet of Eitz Hadas and the Techiyas Hameisim, the body will be a totally new body. Al derech, you have what Chassidus says about the Binyan Bayis Shlishi, Binyana de Kutrabrichu, that the third base Hamikdash will last forever because it will be built by Hashem. Similarly, the bodies of all Yidden will be made by the Eibishter himself. So Mela, you're talking about a body in that level. Chatchila, everything is supernatural. In other words, Chatchila, it has a total different. It's b'chal not shaykh to Gashmis the way we understand it now. So the whole world that it's going to be in will be l'chatchila supernatural, much higher world than the way it is today. Getting back to what we were speaking about before, the idea of a hasaga, the understanding of Elokus in the second period, Kemuvan, since there won't be the Yetzer Hara. In other words, today a person, there's really two in Yonim, if I could put it this way. We're talking about the Diyas Hashem, understanding the Eibishter, the Saim Mitzad, the Revelation, another one, and any subject that you're learning, there's the subject matter at hand, understanding the subject matter. Then there's the person. Sometimes the reason why you can't understand certain things is because the subject matter is too deep. Sometimes the reason why you can't understand it is because the person can't understand. This Kaiser Amasig and Neimek HaMusik, to use the terms that the person's masig, person can't understand, the thing is too deep. So now, we're in Golus time, so both have one hand godliness is concealed, and Sadasheni, even the little godliness that we could understand, but because of the state that we're in, we're unable to relate to it. But Moshiach will come on both fronts, this problem will be taken away. Godliness will be revealed in the highest level possible. It also means that the person himself, the person will be a keli, the person will be able to comprehend and understand it. That's what the Rebbe says. Then the Rambam will be able to understand the knowledge of the Eibush as much as a person could understand. So there's really two opposite ways of understanding the Rambam's words. The Rebbe himself in the Sikhs explain the different ways. One way of understanding is the Rambam is saying, to be able to understand as much as a person could understand. Because we know a person can't understand the Eibush himself completely. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, Rambam writes in the beginning of Mishnah Torah, the Eibush told him that Fonei lo yirot, understand that mitzvos mitzvos shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's some Eibush even Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't. So the Rambam has to bavorin v'yesigu das boidam k'koyach adam. Mashiach will come, we'll understand Hashem as much as we could. Another Sikhat Rebbe makes a punfarkerta twist, that we'll understand the highest levels, and that itself will be in a way that we'll have the koyach to understand. Not that it's a limitation, we'll only be able to understand as much as our intellect could handle, but the other way around, that our intellect will be able to handle the greatest levels.
It's a
different kvetch. It's a different way of teaching the Rambam. But so you have in Chassidus definitely that in the second period mitzad the zichur ha'olam, mitzad the fact that the world will become totally pure and refined, the knowledge of the Eibishter will be much greater. You have in the Zohar a lashon that ein ben olam hazal meisam Moshiach l'shiva malchus b'ovan. The Rebbe was mitzayin to the Zohar. Yeah, the Zohar adds nachavad. The Zohar says the ein ben meisam Moshiach l'olam haba elu nikius yediyah v'hasaga, nikius das v'hasaga, purity and understanding. Like it seems like it goes together. Like then will be a pure world. So our understanding of the Eibishter will be totally complete. You have in the Rebbe Sichas also, the Rebbe discussed a lot about the meaning of the revelation of Das will be when Mashiach will come. But in one Sicha, the way the Rebbe many Sichas asks why in the Rambam, when the Rambam quotes the Pasuk, when Moshiach will come, the world will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem as water covers the sea. So in Hilchos Tshuva and in Hilchos Moach, and the Rambam both speaks about Moshiach, and the Rambam mentions this pasuk. But in Hilchos Tshuva, he doesn't finish off K'mayim L'Yom L'Chasim. In Hilchos Moachim, he does finish off K'mayim L'Yom L'Chasim. The Rebbe has many sichas about this. So the Rebbe explains that the one sikha the Rebbe expressed himself that in the first period of Moshiach, it's only going to be K'mala Ritzdeyas Hashem. The darga of K'mayim L'Yom V'chasim, K'mayim L'Yom V'chasim means as water covers the sea, that, so to say, the world loses itself and becomes totally submerged in godliness. That will only be in the second period. So in that sikha, Vaistais, the word is how much the knowledge of Hashem permeates the world. But also, in the etzem knowledge of Hashem that will be, in the type of inyanim that will be revealed, K'muv in the second period, will be high inyanim, so discuss will be high inyanim that will be revealed. I just wanted again to bring out how the removal of the Yetzer Hara also connects. It's not just an outcome that because, in other words, like I mentioned last week, that because you know Hashem, it helps you control Yetzer Hara. It also works the other way around also. The more the Yetzer Hara is removed, the more you're a keli, the more the say Chassidus Retarum, that because of the removal of the Yetzer Hara, the way be able to be the complete knowledge of Hashem.
There's as a memorial of the Rebbe quite often.
Yeah.
This is much I'm doing in mind right now, and there's moments of right now. The Rebbe's masbir. It's a mind of Ichel and Snapasid and Yaakov. Anyway, the Rebbe's masbir like this. The Rebbe's shaila is how could Techiyas Shefer be Mamlech the Eibishter, and which comes from etzem. It's a darge of muchlet, and it's a mitzvah at the end of the day.
One second, what's the question again?
Yeah, Shefer, how could we be Mamlech Hashem?
How could it be Mamlech the Eibishter? How could it be a tzivri? You should be Mamlech the Eibishter if the ultimate point of the Ein of Malchus comes as a result of that's not etzem. It's so far that it's not even golalatzmi. It's not even golalatzmi. In other words, there's a ratzin in gola to someone else, and that's a gilui for himself. Everybody speaks of there's such high values over there, and there's one good that Rebbe brings out over there, and says this is a point constantly. I hear this quite often, and just I don't know why you don't want to say this. That's what I'm trying to figure out. The Rebbe's not like this. Rebbe is asking Moshiach Shine. Rebbe says that what I said to you before, that the dargis, that the reason how it's able to come down and be able to lower it to such a low level that the mitzvahs, the asiyah gashus should be affected, is because it's such a great gilaed. So the Rebbe says it's very far from it. There's no shaykhs to it. So Rebbe says, how can you say it's not shaykhs? Is if the whole reason that it's able to be able to come down to such a low level is because it comes from such a high level, so its height is a reason why it comes down. Why it's able to go down so low. So it's a connection by the distance is the reason of connection. In other words, the explanation of how it's far away is the reason why it's able to go. It's so high. That's the reason why it's able to lower itself to such a low level into also. So in other words, it says at the end of the day, it's a shaykhs to that also. If you can't say it's not shaykhs, because the reason why it's able to lower itself so low is because it's so high. So even although I use over there the word etzem, I don't mean to be the etzem. I'm talking about the and stuff. What's really etzem that it says? The Atzvus and stuff. That over there is not a reason why. It doesn't have to be so high to the lowest of low. The high and the low is the same thing. It doesn't make it, the highest and the lowest is the Eibishter is the shavem. There's no difference over there. It's the only the Eibishter without any reason. Those beicher yivchal manas from the seinu. The bechira has nothing to do with anything. It's not this high, this is low. It's over there shavem mash. There's no high and no low. And that's the etzim. And that's the gilah of the etzim.
Right.
In other words, not the highest levels, such a high levels. No. It's where the Gilui La'asad Lavi
Where
is
high and low is the
where
same.
the high and the low doesn't make no difference. But the Eibishter is Mechaya in this world. The Gashmis Elam has it just like he's Mechaya Atzilus and the highest and Ak and the Gdum, everything, the Kudim, Akudim, everything. The Zohar it's the Eibishter was Bertzeinei, or there is a clue that the Aveda, the Lamata, that's the Rebbe's Masber. That's the
Versteht. Was Hameisim Moshiach, and that's a giluf from Hameisim Moshiach.
No. Where did I say?
No, I'm saying it's Hasbod, but that's the Nekud. The Pshat say is the Kashmir is how is it? What's the God? How is the Yitzhak? The Yitzhak is going to. There'll be the Gil Eir of the Eibishter will be Megala the Etzem of the Yitzhak. The Yitzhak is his tachlis is he wants to. He also says he also wants to do. He is shlichus from Malav Hashem, and his rotzen is that his rotzen. You shouldn't listen to him. That is emes is rotzen, and the La'asal Lavi that will be the Gilui of the Yitzhak. So when the Sheikh Pshat said the Ra as we perceive it today won't exist. All these inyanim, the Hepach won't exist. But because everything the Etzem will bring this galuf from everything.
No, I sage nicht, dass die Yetzer Hara won't exist at all. He'll be in this Hapach L'Toyv. I'm just saying one thing. I'm saying my Nekuda was just that the Inyan was just one thing, that the same way there's different Kufas. Chassidus speaks about Ambir Hara, Lasa Lavai. There's different kufas in how much will be Yediyas Hashem Lasalavay, and in one of the biyurim, one of the nyanim that Haba Hataya. That's the point. In other words, in one of the aspects of the differences between the levels of Yediyas Hashem is told in how much is biyur hadaf in the world. That's all. Then was Yediyas Hashem Giliatzis and Dalach Tzadagis Gesundheit. I'm not taking away from it.
Well, definitely.
I feel that all sichos from the Rebbe read verschiedene darges. There's always from one hand the Rebbe speaks about different darges and Yonim also lovely. And on the other hand, the ultimate is always hecher from darges and
it's definitely going to be Kufas. We know that Techiyas Hameisim, it says going to be 4 years after Moshiach comes. So it's going to be Kufas. That's number one.
It's Lav Dafke.
Huh?
This is Lav Dafke.
The sign